Welcome back or welcome to Baking with B. For our first video, I want to do something very simple, something that pretty much everyone likes. Maybe not, but I think everyone likes them. It's just a plain old classic chocolate chip cookie. The recipe, I got it from Baking Buzzed. It's an Instagram account, so shout out to him. There's a link in his bio for different recipes he does, so if you like the way this one's formatted, you can check it out. And the recipe will be in the description below if you want to bake with me. So like I said, very simple. What you're gonna need is 1 3/4 cups of flour, 3/4 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cup of unsalted butter, 1 cup packed of dark brown sugar, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 1 large egg, and 1 egg yolk. Make sure it's not the white, it's the yolk. 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 1 1/2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and just some flaky sea salt for sprinkling if you want. My mom always taught me to measure out the ingredients before starting, so thanks Lisa for that. So that's what I did here, and let's get started. First, we're gonna mix our dry ingredients: flour, baking soda, and salt. Like I said, I measured mine out beforehand, so it's all in here pretty much. And we're just gonna put it in the bowl. Mix it all up just a little bit, just briefly. It doesn't have to be anything serious. That's gonna go off to the side a little bit. Using a hand mixer, if you have a cool KitchenAid, you can do that as well. I am a college student, so I don't. You're going to beat the butter on medium speed for about 30 seconds. So here's my room temperature butter. All right, it's about to get loud, so make sure your roommates are all awake. All right, that should be good. You just kind of wait for it to get like a little fluffy, kind of looks like icing a little bit. And then so after you beat it for 30 seconds-ish, you're gonna add both the dark brown sugar and white sugar, like so. Just kind of flop it in. That looks about good. That should be the type of consistency, you know, give or take a little bit. Everyone kind of does it a little differently. Next, you're gonna add in your egg plus the egg yolk. So as I was saying previously, egg yolk is the yellow stuff, egg white is like the kind of clear stuff. So you want a whole egg plus the egg yolk. So it should be 2 yellows. And you just kind of plop it in. And then you're going to also do a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Make sure it's a tablespoon, not a teaspoon. There's a difference. Just kind of do a little bit. It's okay to make a mess. That's what baking's all about. And then you just beat it up again. So now I'm gonna scrape the sides of the bowl because a lot of time the sugar and whatever else is in there kind of tends to gravitate to the sides of the bowl, which makes it not be an even blend whenever you're about to mix it all together. I wash my hands, don't you worry. And just bake it, just beat it again like 15 seconds. Alrighty. Once that's done, it says here to add half of the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. That's just so you don't, it's honestly just for you, so you don't have to work as hard to mix everything together at once. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add half, you know, I don't measure it out, I just kind of eye it, half of the dry ingredients. It's about half. And then it says to fold it in. So folding, just like think of like folding a shirt, you know, you're just folding with the spatula. That's just so you don't overwork the dough. If you overwork the dough, it can help make your cookies kind of be a little dry and just not as moist. But they're still will be yummy if you do. So I'm just gonna be folding it in. Again, half of it. It looks like it's not gonna ever combine, but I promise you it eventually will. All right, so I just finished mixing or folding in half of the dry ingredients. I'm gonna put in the other half now. Alrighty, and do the exact same thing. All right, so I got everything all mixed up, ready to go. Next I'm gonna add the chocolate chips. The recipe says about 1.5 cups. It kind of just depends on like your personal preference for like how much chocolate chips you want in the cookie. So just eye it. Definitely don't put the entire bag in because you don't want the cookie to be watery when it comes out and just be like fudge. So you just kind of eye it and you make sure that, you know, it's a decent amount of chocolate chips because it is a chocolate chip cookie after all. And it doesn't take long, just like a little bit. Don't overwork it because again, we don't want overworked dough. All right, so now that that's done, I'm gonna go over and dollop about 2-inch circles of the cookie onto the parchment lined baking pan. I need about 3 pans for my dough, but if you have bigger trays, then you won't need as many. After I'm done putting all of the batter on each tray, you stick it in the fridge for an hour. I know, it's crazy. But you do cool it for an hour because it makes the cookies come out more moist after they're done in the oven. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go put the dough on the trays, put them in the fridge for an hour, clean up, and then stick them in the oven. Alright, so at about, 15 minutes before the hour's up, kind of depends on your oven, you're going to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. But for me, the hour's up, so it's time to put the cookies in. So I'm going to get out a batch. Doesn't really matter which one. Like I said, mine took 3 trays, so I'm going to have to do 3 rounds of bake. Only do 1 pan in the oven at a time or else the cookies aren't going to cook evenly. Some will be burnt and some will be soggy, just so you know. So I'm going to put them in the oven. Make sure your rack is in the middle of the oven. If it's too high, it won't cook enough. If it's too low, it's going to burn. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes. Once there's 5 minutes remaining, you take the pan out and you lightly tap it on the counter to kind of make them wrinkle and crinkle in. It just kind of adds an effect. If you want them fluffy and cakey, then do that. But I'm going to do it this way. And then after that, you're going to put them back in the oven and then take them back out when there's 2 minutes left and repeat the same banging action and put them back in the oven for the remaining 2 minutes. And then that's it. You just let them cool. Don't take them off of the pan too soon or else they're gonna fall apart and collapse. Again, this recipe has you, doing the whole slamming thing. But if that's not your thing, that's totally okay. I'm just following the recipe from Baking Buzz, as I said. So yeah, we'll wait until 5 minutes and then see what happens. And voila, you have your classic chocolate chip cookies. Thanks again to Baking Buzz for, inspiring this recipe and making it and getting me hooked on it. So don't forget, like, subscribe, comment if you have any recipe ideas that you want to throw at me, or if you want to see a specific type of dessert, that's also fine. Or if you just love this one, please let me know. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Enjoy!